Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Farzy Show, presented by Steven Sager Jewelers, and what a day it is, the first day of August. Happy August. I know some Phillies are, they'd rather have July still stay here, but we said the same thing with Kyle Schwarber when he hit a bunch of bobs in June. We're like, oh, can he carry it to July? And he did. We'll cover that. We got the MLB Trade Deadline coming up tomorrow. How much better will the Phillies attempt to make themselves by the MLB Trade Deadline? The Phillies, the ball players, they have the day off today after jumping back into the wild card round, or wild card spot, the third and final one. Now that they're a game up on the St. Louis Cardinals, Phillies certainly handle their business. But the Phillies, after doing that, they got the day off, the players. Everybody else, not so much. When it comes to upper management, when it comes to the front office, when it comes to Dave Dombrowski, you do not have the day off, sir. Your job is to take today and tomorrow up until the 6 p.m. MLB trade deadline and see whatever way possible you can find to make this team just a little bit better. Right now, you're in the playoffs. Let's solidify that over the final 2 months of the regular season. And let's hope that August doesn't begin that horrible late season collapse that we all know too well here in Philadelphia. We'll cover that for you in this incredible sweep of the Pirates. Now, I say incredible, not because the Pirates are some World Series contender. Of course not. A very much sub-500 team. But anytime you go out there on the ball field, I hate to use this because it's so cliche, but it's like in football we say any given Sunday. Well, any given game, one team can beat another. You can just not have your best stuff, and that bad team can play like a good team and take advantage of every one of your mistakes. Like maybe Odubel Herrera not being able to run the bases. Why would that? I mean, come on. And of course, the Phillies were still able to win that game, where Odubel decided to not run anymore, which is always fun. But when it comes to this ball club, and it comes to facing a team that is that sub-500 team like the Pittsburgh Pirates, doesn't matter. Any team can be any team on any day. And you can talk about the Dodgers series that the Phillies had with the Dodgers back in Los Angeles. You can talk about the Pirates series with the Dodgers on any given Sunday. To implement that cliche once more, any team can beat any other team. The bottom line is the Phillies went in and took care of business. Alec Boehm, after his amazingly historic July, even said that after the ball game yesterday. Doesn't matter that it's the Pirates, essentially. It doesn't matter that we feel like we can just go in and beat anybody. What really matters is when you face another team that is still bringing it and trying to beat you, you step up and you win that ball game. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You just got to go out there and you got to win. In any given game, that other team could beat you. Phillies did what they were supposed to do against the Pirates, and then some. I mean, even if I was being optimistic, I would have said the Phillies were going to win 3 or 4 against the Pirates. It took all 4. They've won 5 in a row. Feeling a lot better about life right now, at least the baseball life for the Philadelphia Phillies. That makes you feel good. We'll delve into that. We'll talk Eagles training camp because we already got some controversy. We've been talking about Miles Sanders. When Ruben Frank was on with us last week, we talked about Miles Sanders and what's his role on the team going to be this season. Kenny Gainwell showed some good signs last year. What are you going to get from Kenny Gainwell, a guy that could catch the ball out of the backfield, run between the tackles, run to the outside, bounce it outside, all that stuff? He looked like a very big threat in the Eagles' backfield, not just for other teams, but to Miles Sanders as the number 1 back. So what do we have in the first couple days of training camp? Well, we got some running back controversy, if there is such a thing. Why was Miles Sanders running with the 2s? I couldn't believe Nick Sirianni's answer when I heard it. Now, guys, you know, the Friday we ran our taped interview with Dominic Brown, who I thought was phenomenal. We're going to have him on again at some point. And in that interview, I'm going to try to delve a little deeper into that whole Charlie Manuel story of Charlie telling the team he would trade any one of them, if not all of them, for Giancarlo Stanton. Okay. I need more on that one. But I really liked what Dominic had to say. I really enjoyed that interview, as I told you going into it. But I was down the shore, Lil Toots, the missus, Toots, Lil Toots, Leo, myself, we were down there with some friends. And first time Lil Toots was really in the ocean in terms of being able to enjoy it. She was jumping over way. Oh my God, it was great. You know, you see your kids having fun, and you're like, okay, maybe I'm not a horrible parent. And she was loving every second of it. But I was catching up on things towards the end of the day. If there was maybe some highlights around the league that I missed in baseball, I'll go back and I'll watch those. A press conference I might have missed from Nick Sirianni, I'll go back and watch that. And it was one of those things where I'm watching it, and I'm like, he did just, oh my God. If you're the head coach of a football team, it's never a good idea to say that your PR guy had to tell you something about depth charts. I would go ahead and rule that as a negative. So we'll get into that with Nick Sirianni. And what else we got coming up today? Nick Sirianni apparently tackles his assistant coaches. But, it's just, I thought it was a rumor, but I have video evidence of Nick Sirianni tackling one of his coaches. The guy loves ball. He loves ball. He loves ball. Nick Sirianni loves ball. Let's start out with the Phillies. All right, let's take a look at what the Phillies have been able to do here. I just went over some notes before the show because I wanted to make sure I had these numbers right for you. The month of July for the Philadelphia Phillies has been spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. And under Rob Thompson, they have been a pretty damn good baseball team. They're now 33-18 with Topper. And as our good friend of the show, Garrett Stubbs, told us a few weeks back, well, geez, what has Topper done that Joe Girardi hasn't? Well, Topper's got that bleep you mentality. I find that very good for athletes to have that bleep you mentality. Keep your analytics. Keep all that stuff. Bleep you mentality is all we'll need. Here's what the Phillies did in the month of July. Alec Boehm is the guy we're going to start off with because he's nothing short of spectacular. Alec Boehm. 434 batting average in the month of July. 457 on base percentage with 3 home runs. Yes, I do feel like Alec Boehm is a guy that should be hitting you more bombs. He hit one yesterday. That was nice. But hitting 434, getting his average up to 299. It hit 300 yesterday as part of his 4 for 5 day. That is pretty spectacular. Alec Boehm, 434. Yeah, and look at JT Realmuto, another guy that was struggling going into the month of July, comes out of the month of July looking a lot better. Alec Boehm, 434. Realmuto, 358 with a 423 on base percentage. He hit 5 home runs in the month of July. Nick Castellanos. I want to start on a negative with him so I can end on a positive. The negative is, remember that thing I was tracking in the month of June? About whether or not June would be Nick Castellanos' first homerless month since September of 2015. And then he hit a home run on the last day of June. Well, he didn't hit a home run. He did not hit it's even hard to say. He did not hit a home run in the month of July. July is his first homerless month since September of 2015. No bueno. You need some pop from a man who's hit 30 home runs in his career. You need at least can I get more than one? Can I get one again? So at least not a homerless month. No, okay, all right, that's fun. This is the guy, and I'll say it again, that ownership said was the last guy or the only guy they would go over the luxury tax for. So here's the positive. If Nick Castellanos is hitting 282 the rest of the season, you feel a lot better about life. 282 is what he got for you on the year. No home runs. And although Kyle Schwarber only hit 168 in the month of July, he still hit 10 bombs in the month of July. Another double-digit homer month for Kyle Schwarber. That's a pretty damn good month. And that's just the guys from the plate. Yeah, you're going to need a little bit more of that. Yes, please, and thank you. Get Segura back in this lineup. Yes, please, and thank you. Then get Bryce Harper back in this lineup. You're going to be feeling a lot better about this Phillies team really locking up a wild card spot. And that is before the trade deadline. And one of the things that I've seen out there now is that the Phillies apparently are turning their sights away from the bullpen. But I will say this. Hopefully they get one little piece in the bullpen so that we no longer have to see Jarius Familia. Just one. Just one bullpen piece that could just take the job of Jarius Familia, and we could all have a lot more confidence in what the Phillies have, especially if the Phillies are up 8-1, for instance, and we don't have to see Jarius Familia come into a game again and make you go, yeah, okay, they still win. All right, thank God. Familia was in, so I was a little worried. There's no 7-run lead. Is safe with Jarius Familia. So that's the way you can look at it there for the Phils. And the trade deadline, hopefully that's one of the first things to do, a small bullpen piece. But now it seems like they are turning their eyes to a starter. I believe it was Matt Gelb of The Athletic putting it out there saying that the Phillies are now after a starting pitcher that can start a playoff game. That means Wheeler or Nola, 1 and 2, and then 3, not Zach Eflin, obviously, not Kyle Gibson, of course, not Ranger Suarez, who's pitched well as of late. I'm not mad at Ranger Suarez by any means. And then somebody there in the 3 spot. So that's going to cost you something. Now, I did put this together because I put this together through Matt Gelb as well as Jason Stark, both of The Athletic, who said that the Phillies are going to be protecting these players when it comes to trades. These are the Phillies' top prospects. Look at 1, 2, and 3. No surprise there. Andrew Painter, Mick Abel, and then you also have Logan O'Hoppe. Yes, that's how you pronounce his name, O'Hoppe, who is a catcher in the Double-A system right now in Reading. Griff McGarry as well. And then all the way much further down on this list was their number 26th ranked prospect, who actually just got promoted from the Blue Claws, which is high A ball, not as high as it should be, like Clearwater, for instance. But he just got promoted to Double-A Reading as well. So a huge jump for the 22-year-old, just coming off of Tommy John surgery. Apparently he's been popping the mitt like they like him. So Ben Brown now in Double-A. He's a right-handed pitcher. So we're looking at these guys right now. Painter and Abel are both right-handed pitchers that are turning some heads in high A ball. And then you also have Griff McGarry, who's turning some heads at Double-A. And then you have Ben Brown, who's in Double-A now. But O'Hoppe is their only position player that apparently is being protected right now in the Phillies organization through trade conversations. So that's where the Phillies are right now when negotiating going into the trade deadline, which is tomorrow. Of course, this list courtesy of MLB.com, Phillies.com as well, just highlighting the people that are going to be off the table, supposedly. I always like when they start out with that off the table thing. These are the guys don't even mention these guys. We're not trading them. Okay. Do you feel like you could be a little bit better? Getting a starting pitcher, that's a tall order. Phillies did have, we've been tracking it, we've been talking about Noah Syndergaard. His last start, the Phillies did have a scout out there in Los Angeles, watching what he was doing in that ball game to see what he could be bringing to the table here in Philadelphia. And again, I don't think it's going to cost that much to get him, as he's not having exactly a career year. To wrap up some Phillies conversation, I did want to hit these two things. One, now that we're talking about the MLB trade deadline, I really give this guy a lot of credit. You would think this guy has been a manager in Major League Baseball for years. I know he's been a coach, but he hasn't been a manager. This is his first stop as a manager, albeit an interim tag. Rob Thompson, I think, answered this question perfectly yesterday. He was asked about the trade deadline coming up and if he knows what's going to happen, any insight. Here's the question right now. I believe this is also Matt Gelb of the Athletic, but here's the question and the way it's answered by Rob Thompson. I think it's a perfect way to answer this question.
Do you expect to have more additions?
I have no idea.
You know?
I don't. You know, my as I said, my focus is here and with these guys. And if we can't get anything done for whatever reason, I'm good. I'll take this club and we'll go do whatever we need to do.
We all, of course, know that Rob Thompson is probably thinking, yeah, if we get approved in some way, shape, or form, yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. But to just play the I don't know card, which is probably true. I don't know how much they're briefing their interim manager. I would hope they would be, but I don't know how much they're briefing. Hey, what do you think about this guy? What do you think about that guy? Like, I'd hope there's a conversation there. But he still, bottom line, doesn't know what the team and the organization, the front office is going to do at the deadline. And then to say, if we don't make a move, I'm cool with what we have. Paraphrase what he said, he'll still go fight with the guys that he's got, is the perfect way to answer that question. It doesn't put anybody on edge. It doesn't make anybody nervous. It's in your starting lineup. It doesn't make anybody nervous in your rotation or bullpen. And it, in fact, gives them a vote of confidence, saying, look, we could try to make some moves here. I mean, Yohan Camargo, for when he's been healthy, has been a decent player for the Phillies, but he's now down with the acquisition of Sosa, who, by the way, is a guy that was a teammate of Camargo, or excuse me, they played against each other in high school is what they did there. That was from the Inquirer. They played each other in high school. So Sosa comes in via trade for Jojo Romero from the Cardinals, making a trade with the team. You're, what? So many weird things about this, but I will react to it. But that's the first move that's made ahead of the deadline. a guy already lost his job. You don't want to put more guys on edge, especially if you end up not doing anything. Like, what is he get? Like, you can file part of this under, well, what is he gonna say? But then there's an ultimate way to handle it, and I think that's the way that he handled it, playing the I don't know card, and then on top of it saying, but I'll still go fight with these guys. Well, let's go do it. If he talks about, we can always use bullpen arm, we can use another starting pitcher, then probably Ranger Suarez is going, well, all right, my days are numbered. Kyle Gibson, I guess I got to do more for this ball club. Whatever it might be, he's not calling anybody out. I think he handled it perfectly. Now, one other thing that he said yesterday, which I don't know how you can really sum it up, and I thought he was going to stop at one word, but he was asked about the amazing 434 batting average of Alec Bohm this last month of July, and really asked what's been working for the young man. And here's the way Rob Thompson answered that question about Alec Bohm.
Incredible on both sides of the ball. So credit to Bohm and a credit to the coaching staff too. Bobby Dickerson, Kevin Long, Jason Camilli. They put a lot of hours in with this guy. And not only, the physical aspects of his game have really improved, but the mental and emotional side of it. He's grown up, and right now he's a heck of a player.
Growing up's always a good thing. We definitely like that in Philadelphia, and I assume he's alluding to I bleeping hate this place, an ultimate quote from Alec Bohm. But talking about everything else from how he's put it together at third base, it's crazy. At third base, he looks like he makes plays that you think he has no business making. And then he'll bobble the ground ball, the sharp ground ball hit right at him. Like it's weird things like that with Alec Bohm that kind of keep you on your edge. Keep you on the edge with Alec Bohm. But then to talk about how he just kind of looks like he's in a groove at the plate, and he certainly does. I just tweeted this out during the game yesterday. It just literally, it looks like batting practice for Alec Bohm. He looks like he'll take a couple of pitches, and then he grooves one into the gap, and then he puts one over the fence like he did yesterday. He just looks like he is in the zone, and then right behind him as of late in the lineup, JT Realmuto also looks like he's in the zone, and he is just grooving pitches to the outfield. That's what you need to see from this ball club. You got a little pop to come along with it from Alec Bohm, and continued from JT Realmuto, who was really struggling coming into the month of July in terms of forget about the batting average, but power numbers as well. It wasn't even like anything close, obviously, to a Kyle Schwarber type of situation where it was feast or famine. There was no pop to make up for a lack of average from JT Realmuto. But ever since he didn't go north of the border, he's been a hell of a lot better ball player than we have seen for the vast majority of this season. He's been a lot more of what we have seen up until this year from JT Realmuto at the plate, which has been great. So a couple of things I wanted you guys to hear from Rob Thompson after yesterday's game. Let me react to the first trade. I've already referenced Edmundo Sosa, who's a defensive player. A 191 hitter? Okay, so that's not very good. So why the hell, for two things, why would we trade a member of the bullpen that I think is more valuable than getting another middle infielder? Why would I do that? Sosa, soon to be Segura, Bryson Stott, Didi Gregorius, Jairus Munoz. Why? And then Camargo in AAA, able to come up at a moment's notice. Why would I make another acquisition? Why would I add that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 guys in the majors or in AAA that can play in the major. Why would I do that? I am not, as I've seen some people, freak the hell out and lose their minds over this trade. This is a setup trade. And if it's not, then there's no point to this trade. Right now, judging it right now, it's a bad trade. I'd much rather have a bullpen arm than a guy who's going to be a backup to the backup to the backup to the assistant regional manager, whatever. That is a guy that is not very valuable on this ball club. Camargo's fine. I'd rather see Jojo Romero come in here, crush another Red Bull can, go and strike somebody out. Like, that's what I'd rather see. And that's, I think, what the Phillies have more of a need for, which is ultimately more important than anything. This only makes sense if it's a setup deal. if somebody else is getting traded, if Didi's getting traded or something like that. Who, by the way, Didi Gregorius, all the credit in the world to how great his glove has been at shortstop, especially in this Pirates series. A couple of game-clinching, game-sealing plays that he's made at the shortstop position. I give him every ounce of credit. But as I've been saying for the last 2 weeks, Bryson Stott will be your shortstop going forward. When Gene Segura comes back from his rehab assignment, you're going to see Didi either ride the bench or get traded. This move only makes me think that more so because you're not stockpiling middle infielders for no reason. The MLB trade deadline right around the corner here, literally tomorrow, you're going to make another move. And the only way it makes sense is if Didi's a guy that's on the move, or if at least Didi is the guy that's getting calls right now with other teams being interested in what he could bring to the table at their shortstop position. Maybe another change of scenery will help his bat in the lineup as well. But you're at least getting a solid shortstop in Didi Gregorius if you're making a trade for another playoff contender out there. If that's the case, then Dave Dombrowski has set up a setup trade for another trade. And that's where we're at right now as far as the Phillies and transactions go ahead of the trade deadline coming up at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. That's the only way it makes sense. Because right now, it's not a good trade. It's a bad trade. But looking down the line, this trade means there should be another one shortly thereafter. Preferably one where they unload one of their middle infielders. Then the Phillies will be in a better spot. But Romero for Sosa, no thank you. Romero for Sosa, and then another move that alleviates the very deep middle infield spots here in Philadelphia. Yeah, then I'd feel a lot better. That makes more sense to me. So that's what the Phillies got coming up. Again, Phillies off today on this Monday before starting a brief 2-game series with the Atlanta Braves. Phillies occupy the third and final wild card spot. Phillies players off today. Dave Dombrowski, I hope you're really hitting the books, hitting the phone lines, hitting the text messages very hard today to get ready for that deadline tomorrow. Hey, Eagles are at training camp. That's fun. We all enjoy that. What if I told you that a head coach of a football team was unaware that his players were running with the twos, and this guy's a starter? This guy, I think, has Pro Bowl caliber talent in Miles Sanders and just really hasn't achieved it. What if I told you that coach was unaware that he was running with the twos and had to talk to his PR guy about it? Because that's kind of how it sounded yesterday, or 2 days ago, I should say, when it came to Nick Sirianni addressing the media and answering questions about Miles Sanders, who was supposedly, who was running with the twos for whatever reason. Here's Nick Sirianni on answering this question. It certainly seems odd to me, but then he tries to sell you on the idea that no, Miles is our number one. Miles is our number one. Just listen to this and tell me if this jumps out to you as odd.
I don't know where that came from. Our backs rotate. Those first three backs, Kenny and Miles and Boston, they rotate 3 plays and in and out for the first 2 sessions of the period. So the period split into 3 areas, 1s, 2s, 3s, and those 3 guys rotate that area. Miles is our guy. So there was, whether it was the way that the reps worked out yesterday, that he was in a couple more. Obviously, Bob prepares me for these questions. I knew you guys were going to ask this question for this particular case, and but no, when I saw that and when Bob made me aware of that, that was my thought. I'm like, I don't think that happened, and then it just so happened to be the way the numbers worked a little bit. But Miles was in with the ones as well, and Miles is our guy. So there's no secret. Miles is our guy, and we like to rotate our backs, right? But he's the guy.
Miles is our guy. Miles is our guy. Miles is our guy. Miles is our guy. Miles. Booby. He's our guy. I know who he's talking about. Bob Lang. Great guy. He was with the Eagles for a long time in the Reed era. And then he went out to San Francisco. I saw him a bunch out there in San Francisco. His PR guy out there in San Francisco, and now he's back with the Philadelphia Eagles, which is great. Bob does a phenomenal job. I find it very odd, quite frankly discouraging, if a head coach doesn't check with the PR guy about the depth chart essentially is what we're talking about. Now, he starts it off by quickly dismissing it and saying, I don't know where that came from. Our guys rotate, meaning that there is no number one, there is no number two, there is no number three, whatever you want to call it. But it's not a good look. Anytime you have Miles Sanders out there with even if he's not getting tackled, even if they're only in the shorts and shells and then the Guardian helmets, whatever the hell those things are, but whatever makes a player healthy, I guess. Jason Kelce has some fun with that. But for me, for Miles Sanders, I think once writers, reporters, media members see where Miles Sanders is and see who else is around him, who's surrounding him, they're going to go, oh, that's the second team. Why is Miles Sanders with the second team? Was there ever a situation where Kenny Gainwell was with the second team 2 days ago? He did what he can to dispel the rumors, to the reports saying Miles is our guy. And okay, fine, Miles is your guy. It should be your guy. It should be his job to lose. And if he drops balls out of the backfield like he did last year, then yeah, that's going to be a problem. If he doesn't go up and hit the hole like he should, then yeah, that's going to be a problem. Behind this offensive line, yeah, that's going to be a problem. And Kenny Gainwell is going to get more reps. But having to talk to the PR guy about whether or not that actually happened, okay, that seems odd. Seems very odd to me. But nonetheless, that's where he's at. Now, one thing that didn't really shock me, because we all know that Nick Sirianni is a very intense guy, is he had his assistant coach, linebackers coach, mic'd up, Coach Rallis. And now the Eagles put this on their website. During the beginning portion of the mic'd up session with Coach Rallis, Nick Sirianni goes, they're not going to have a lot of good audio from you because, you're just not that interesting, kind of, is more or less what he says. He goes, the only thing they're going to get is this conversation right here. And Rallis is like, yeah, I'm going to try to be a rah-rah guy today, ha-ha, whatever. And then later, and this is courtesy of the Philadelphia Eagles website, Nick Sirianni goes up and actually tackles his assistant coach as he's trying to coach up guys on tackling form. And I give a lot of credit to Rallis. He just kept going with it. For the people on the podcast, I do apologize. This is very visual, what I'm about to show.
Oh, coming in here, I'm going to move it. We're rolling through the pad right there. Too high. Cut the engine. Here we go. Start.
He just keeps going. Cut the engine. Sirianni's trying to tackle me. It's a joke, but whatever. He's tackled me too high. Cut the engine. Go low. I never heard cut the engine in my 1 year of playing freshman football for Archbishop Wood High School, where I was a co-captain. I never heard cut the engine. I did hear stop the motor. Stop the motor. Hit him low. I mean, as always. But I give him a lot of credit. I thought that was interesting. We do have a tendency to overreact to a lot of stuff, and I've seen the stats there about Jalen Hurts is something like 36 for 51 in training camp. I know my old friend Elliot Shore Parks puts that all the time. He's the most known for keeping training camp stats, practice stats. I really don't care. I really find it like this is practice. Like I asked the question last year. What means less? Training camp stats? Preseason stats? Or spring training stats? What of those? Which one of those would you rank as the least? I'll answer. The least is the practice stats, followed then by spring training stats. And then number one, I would say you could put the most stock in is preseason stats. That's the most that I can put stock in, because those are actual games of guys really trying that have a legit chance to make a baseball team, or make a football team, make a team. So in terms of real important, what you can get the most out of, I'll go preseason football. And granted, hold on, all these don't matter. Like, let me just say, but if I really had to say what matters most of the things that don't, I'd go preseason football games. I'd go spring training, and then I'd go practice stats. Practice stats. That's what I would. Most important to least important. That's how I rank it right there. In a list of, in a pile of crap, The least crappiest, I'd go preseason stats. Everything else. Practice stats? Oh, my God, do I need to do the Allen Iverson rant? We're talking about we're keeping stats for practice? That's how I feel whenever stats come out that regard practice. That's what? Some of these plays are new. This might be a little tweak to the scheme. Maybe you haven't thrown to this guy. There's all sorts of stuff that just, no, I'm not going to keep track of that. Not going to care about that. I'm not going to, Jalen Hurts threw an interception or almost threw an interception. Oh, God, get Minshew in there. Like, what the? No, thanks. Doesn't matter. In the least bit, doesn't matter. Nick Sirianni tackling his other coaches definitely matters. Now, you might have noticed the Eagles have made a bunch of upgrades this season, especially on the defensive side of the football. They've really made one big move on the offensive side of the football. And Jason Kelce was asked about the new additions to the team, but he clarifies, and he talks about the acquisitions that they've made, the one acquisition they've made offensively. He talks about the offensive line. He's talked about the running backs, quarterback. He's talked about the tight end. Like, he's talking about a lot of different guys here, and A.J. Brown being here now certainly upgrades to their wide receiver position, because that 1-2 punch of Devontae Smith and Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown is going to be something very special, I think, this year. Quez Watkins is your number 3 guy. Other guys fighting for some spots and some catches on this team. I think this Eagles team has it in them to be dominant, really, on both sides of the football, in more games this season than they won't be. So that's something to get excited about. Every year, I think we do try our best in the preseason, in training camp, to predict how good this team is going to be. And really, that happens before even OTAs. That happens after the draft, really. How good can this team be? Jason Kelce's got us pretty pegged. He knows us pretty well. And I'm not just talking about media. I'm talking about fans as well. How hyped you could be about this team. Jason Kelce really gives you, I think, an honest description of what his expectations are for the upcoming season in this team. And I think Jason Kelce answered this the best over the weekend.
I think we have a lot of skill offensively. I think we have a lot of talent. I think we have a great offensive line. I think we have a lot of really good skill position players. And I think we have a quarterback that is continuing to improve and is a great player last year and will be a great player this year. We have to get better right now. That's all I know. I think that in this city, I just got done telling the team this. In this city, it feels like every year the media thinks that we're really good. We end up being, and every year the media thinks we're going to be, we end up being really good. So I prefer not to listen to what everybody thinks we look like on paper. And the only way we're going to be any good this season, we come out here and we work, and everybody comes out with the mentality to get better. Each and every one of us. Nobody here is so good that they can't get better. And but I do think that, from a player standpoint, yes, I think we can be very good offensively.
Are we getting this? We good? There we go. I think that's the way we got to look at it. And it's the only way that you can look at it when it comes to the Eagles. Let me just take care of that. There we go. We back, Jim? We sound good? We're up and running? This is fun. We're all having fun here. That's, I think, the only way you can really approach it. And he says he doesn't try to pay attention to it, but I don't think you can help but hear it. These guys live their lives. They're out in the public. They see people there at camp. That people are telling them how great they're going to be or how bad they're going to be. Probably in some cases there. Like there's it's all honesty all the time. I always say that about Philadelphia. You know where you stand with Philadelphia. I think these athletes know where they stand as well. Whether that's being booed at a stadium, whether that's being cheered at a stadium, whether that being somebody says something sly to you at a public event, or you're just out buying groceries, whatever it might be. People are going to speak their minds all the time. You know where you stand in Philadelphia. And this time around, Jason Kelce, who is very media savvy, is saying, yeah, I think we can be good. I think we can be pretty good. As an offense, at least. He'll speak for the offense. He won't speak to the defense. A couple other things that Jason Kelce said that I thought was really interesting was going up against the defensive line. Now, he said he himself really hasn't played much against the defensive line, but he's watching the rotations, and he's just like, every single guy out there can beat the other guy has the potential to beat the other guy in that one-on-one battle. And if you win your one-on-one battles right there in the trenches, that decides games. Well, I don't think the Eagles are ever wrong when they really put in and invest in their trenches and invest in their offensive or defensive line. That is the number one priority. Howie Roseman said so much right after the draft, saying that's why they took Cam Jurgens and not Nakobe Dean at the second round, because we value this is our philosophy. This is our creed. This is how we live and die, by how we build up our trenches. And I think Jason Kelce is rather impressed with what he's seeing on the other side of that line of scrimmage when he's watching some of these young guys like Jordan Davis, for instance, go after this offensive line. They're going to have an opportunity to get a lot of sacks this year. And I know that's something that was foreign to the Eagles last year. When it comes to takeaways, when it comes to sacks, they were a bottom-tier team, in some instances second worst in the league at doing it. It might happen by accident, simply by guys winning one-on-one battles this year. And when Jason Kelce talks about a guy like Jordan Davis and his size and his agility, and he talked about the other day about Jordan Davis's bug eyes. His eyes are like shot out of his head because he said all his senses are on. He is taking in and absorbing everything. Some people might hear that and go, oh, he sounds scared. He sounds skittish. He doesn't know what's going on. Jason Kelce says the exact opposite of that. He's taking everything in. He's on high alert. He's absorbing everything. That's a great sign. The guy's locked in. He's not just some huge recruit into college, first-round draft pick to the NFL, a champion at the collegiate level, a great defense at the collegiate level, coming in here thinking he knows everything. He's coming in here thinking, I really got to learn something here. And that is, I think, ultimately important because we're all watching young guys, and we're seeing physically what their potential can be and what their potential is, like Jordan Davis. Hearing Jason Kelce talk about it and the way he talked about it, it goes far beyond, what else is he going to say about a rookie? That he's going to be a bust? No, not at all. Of course he's not going to say that. Oh, no, I think he's potential to be a good player. He doesn't just stop there. He emotes over Jordan Davis and what he can bring to this ball club. For me, I'm excited to see it as well. And I think he is going to bear fruit for this defense. And I think he's going to give a lot of guys a lot of headaches on the offensive side of the football, whether they're rotating different guys in, whether they're changing their defensive fronts from 3-4 to 4-3, 4-3 to 3-4, and mixing that in 3-4 under, whatever it might be. All the things they're doing defensively will confuse the hell out of a lot of offensive lines where they won't know what to hit them, especially in the early goings of this season. And then if you try to stop that defensive line and you got an edge rusher like Hassan Reddick, okay, good luck to you. This is set up to be a very successful Eagles season. And I think I'm being modest when I say an 11-win season. This team could very well win 12, 13 games. But that all has to play out. Guys have to stay healthy. You have to use guys the way they're used to being used. Like Hassan Reddick has talked about how he just wants to go out there and play football. Just let me be me. He likes to play fast. Let him play fast. Don't try to put handcuffs on the guy. Don't try to slow him down. Don't wait out. Don't weigh him down. Let him go out there and handle his business. They do that, Jonathan Gannon will have a successful defense. And guess what? He won't even have to draw up many blitzes. It'll just be guys winning one-on-one battles. On the offensive side of things, this offensive line, I think, is going to be the best in football. And I think playing against this defensive line will only make them better as the season goes on. It always comes down to. We could talk about the upgrade they made with A.J. Brown. We could talk about Kenny Gainwell being another year better and all that stuff, and him probably splitting a lot of reps with Miles Sanders, despite Miles Sanders being our guy. We could talk about all of that. But it's still going to come down to quarterback play. I think the offensive defensive lines will do their jobs. I think the Eagles are going to have some of the best trenches in football. At the very worst, top 5, top 3. But when it comes to the quarterback play, all rides on Jalen Hurts taking that step forward. He does that, as he should. He shows that hard work paid off in the offseason. Yeah, the Eagles are definitely going to be a playoff team. They're definitely going to win the division. They're definitely going to have a chance to win playoff games. And we'll all be feeling a lot better about Jalen Hurts being the starting quarterback again next year. Because ultimately, I think that's where the Eagles are going to go. They're going to give Jalen Hurts a contract after this year. I have a lot of confidence in Jalen Hurts going out there, helping this team win football games. On the other side of that, if this is, again, another run-happy, run-first offense, then I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to get that deal. It's going to take him a lot of times being the star of the show offensively to get that deal at the end of the season. I don't think it'll be a $40 million deal. I think it'll be close to 30. But I don't think it's going to be an exorbitant long-term deal like you're seeing some other quarterbacks get, like a Patrick Mahomes, for instance. That ain't happening. But when it comes to the guy that we can keep control of for at least 4 more years, yes, I think that happens. I think that's what he goes out and earns this year by being the most consistent star of the show. Now, does that mean he's, without question, voted into the Pro Bowl immediately? No, that's not what it means. It means that this team is consistently winning football games because of how their offense is playing and their quarterback making throws that help them win football games. He doesn't have to run the football. Doesn't have to be the Miles Sanders, Kenny Gainwell show. No, it doesn't have to be that. It has to be Miles Sanders being the keystone to the offense. That's what it has to be for Jalen Hurts to go on and win a playoff game and win ultimately a contract that says he is Mr. Right. He's not Mr. Right now anymore. Very similar situation to last year, except this year he's got the pieces around him. He's got a year under his belt as a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's got a year under his belt in the same system. And another target like A.J. Brown. Go out there and earn it, fella. Go out there and earn it. Let me tell you about my man, Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right there on Jewelers Row in Philadelphia. Do what I do. When it comes to all your jewelry purchases, trust my friend Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Steven gives you one thing that nobody else can give you. Yeah, sure, his diamonds are beautiful. Yeah, sure, his staff is incredible. But he gives you the perfect price guarantee to go along with it. So when you go into Steven Singer Jewelers, you're not being taken advantage of with big markups just to mark it down a couple of bucks in front of you, make you feel like, oh, they're good negotiator. No. Why deal with that rigmarole? Go in there to Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, the perfect price every single day. Have a real jewelry expert walk you through every step. And you can look at all the beautiful, dazzling diamond inventory and know that at the end of it, you're going to get taken care of like your family. That's what the perfect price guarantee does. It relaxes the customer. You don't have to worry about whether or not the person next to you is paying less than you. Oh, did they get some better deal? Did they know some promo code? Did they have some coupon? Did they get some sale? No, every day at Steven Singer is the sale. It's the perfect price guarantee at Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, the perfect price every day. Online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Let me tell you about the great people of Manscaped. Gentlemen, we're all striving for gold, right? Gold medals, gold watches, gold everything. Well, how about this? How about you upgrade that? And you go platinum with the Platinum Package 4.0 from Manscaped and Manscaped.com. Because, fellas, you want to look good everywhere, right? Well, Manscaped Platinum Package 4.0 is the one-stop shop you'll need. It includes a Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, all with skin-safe technology that helps reduce the risk of nicks. So with Manscaped, you can manscape with confidence and comfort. Plus, ultra premium body wash, 2-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, crop preserver, anti-chafing ball deodorant, crop reviver ball spray toner. You haven't lived until you've tried. Anti-chafing boxers and the Shed travel bag to hold all the goods that will be taking care of your goods while traveling. Manscaped is the leader in below-the-waist grooming. Now you can trust them with the whole shebang. Join Manscaped and the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to Manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping. Just use promo code Farzy. That's right. Use promo code Farzy like you see in the scroll below for 20% off your order at Manscaped.com. How about Freestone Farm CBD? FreestoneFarmCBD.com. If you like CBD, if you use CBD, if you haven't tried Freestone Farm CBD just yet, go to FreestoneFarmCBD.com and use promo code Farzy for 20% off your order. The menu is out of this world. You can check it out with strains like their insane tropical tasting Bayox that clocks in at a chart topping 24.1%, and Super CBD, which is half Hindu, Kush, and 21%. The genetics of these guys, they don't get any better. They also grow all their premium hemp flower in the Garden State with all organic inputs and IPM. So there's nothing synthetic from farm to jar. And after harvest, they carefully preserve all the plant compounds with the perfect 3-month cure. Just one look or smell is enough to let you know it's CBD done right, and that this is a product great for anyone looking to take a more natural approach to everything that they put in their bodies. And once again, you can't beat 20% off. 20% off when you use promo code Farzy at checkout at Freestone Farm CBD, FreestoneFarmCBD.com. Fellas, if you have an issue in the bedroom, need a little help, all right? BlueChew.com. By now, you've heard of Blue Chew and BlueChew.com. You can get with promo code Farzy, you get your first month free. Just pay $5 shipping. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets help men combat all forms of ED. And again, Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so there's no embarrassing trips to the doctor or pharmacy, as Blue Chew ships right to your house in a discreet package. And again, Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so there's no embarrassing trips to the doctor or pharmacy or anything like that. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with a licensed medical provider, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And it's all done online. That's the thing. All discreet. Don't like swallowing pills? No problems here. Blue Chew's tablets are chewable. So it's not just a clever name. Blue Chew's tablets are also made right here in the good old US of A. And they prepare and ship directly to your house, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy. Once again, here's the special deal for our listeners and viewers. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code Farzy and checkout and pay just $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code Farzy, all one word, to receive your first month free at BlueChew.com. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsNation.com. Before I get into the chat check, I want to end the show today on the chat check. Actually, PJ, sorry about that. Because I want to get this conversation in case somebody else has something to say about it. So this will be our morning rush segment. Sorry. It's only proper. And I know he was a rival to Philadelphia. But seeing the news of Bill Russell passing away yesterday really got me thinking, because I find it really interesting when we as mere mortals see these professional athletes look at other people the way that some of us look at them, with this admiration, like the way we look at them when we were kids. A lot of us, like I can only include myself. I'll admit I've been a little jaded, in the business and all that, but I remember looking up to guys like Charles Barkley, and I remember looking up to guys like Clarence Weatherspoon's one of my all-time favorite Sixers. You know what I mean? Allen Iverson when I was in high school, all that. But seeing guys like Charles Barkley, Allen Iverson, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Larry Bird back in the day, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, seeing these guys react to any time Bill Russell was on the court is amazing to me. When the people you respect show their respect and give their respect to somebody who came before them and was a pioneer in so many ways in the NBA, I think that really tells you a lot about who that person really is. And I don't know of anyone that got more respect than Bill Russell in the NBA and really in all of sports. There were moments of silence in baseball stadiums yesterday. Baseball stadiums for Bill Russell. Not even basketball games, obviously. But the sports world losing an icon like Bill Russell, an 11-time champion, 8 straight championships with the Boston Celtics. And yes, a lot of that was on the other side of Wilt Chamberlain, unfortunately, here in Philadelphia. But I think you're hard-pressed to find somebody that had any amount of respect that totaled more than what Bill Russell got in the sports world. I love seeing him at championships. I love seeing him at the NBA Finals, the All-Star Game, being an ambassador to the sport. I absolutely loved seeing him there. It was like that favorite relative that showed up to that holiday and seeing how everybody reacted. Hey, Bill Russell! The respect, the looks of awe that these current players would give him through the years. And then, not to mention, a dominant basketball player. I wish I could speak more to it, but I didn't watch the man play throughout his career, obviously. I was negative 20 years old, I think, when he was winning championships. More than that. But going back and learning about his career, learning about the racism, of course, he had to deal with in his life, what he was as a college athlete in Louisiana, what absolutely incredible. He's a guy that will be missed. He's a guy that when the NBA Finals roll around, All-Star Weekend rolls around, big NBA events are on the calendar, he's a guy that I'll think, oh, where's Bill Russell? And then he passed. Like it'll be that type of thing just because we're so used to seeing him there, just because I'm so used to seeing him there. I always wait for that moment where he comes out presenting a trophy or even just sitting there on the court side and seeing the players interact with him and want that special moment with Bill Russell. That's really all you got to know. When the people you respect show their respect and admiration for somebody who they see as above them, I think that's a really special thing. So he'll be missed. Bill Russell will absolutely be missed. That comes from the heart from a Philadelphia fan, by the way. Let's jump in now to our chat check, ladies and gentlemen. See what all you wonderful people have to say about what's going on in our sports world and the show as well. Never know where you guys are going to go in the chat check. Kevin, good morning. Mally, Dan, Mullet, what's going on? Nice to see you. Dan, isn't Segura coming back soon? Yes, Gene Segura is coming back soon. Maybe even at the end of this week. We'll see how he goes, see how things continue with his rehab assignment. I think he's coming back later this week. That's Mally chiming in as well. I really look forward to seeing a guy that could be a 300 hitter. I mean, if Gene Segura comes back and he could be that 270 to 300 hitter, that's a world of difference in this lineup. As much as I love DD and what he's been doing for you at the shortstop position, Bryce and Stott turning things on over the last couple of weeks, I think has earned his right. And I have a lot of confidence as well that as a defensive shortstop, he can get to even more balls than what you're seeing DD get to. I always hate the excuse because you don't know how hard some of these balls are hit, but it's like, will the old adage come in of DD is diving for baseballs that Bryson Stott would just get to, in other words, not have to dive, track him down, whatever it might be. So we'll see how that goes. Segura should come in. The good news, I'd be more happy, Mally, but I'm really distracted by Marc's beautiful blue shirt and semi-red head. It is. I did get a little sun-kissed again on top of the old dome while I was down the beach. I will say this, and they are in no way, shape, or form a sponsor of this show. But if I know of a good product, I'm going to tell you about a good product. I'm not a beach guy. I've never been a beach guy. Having Lil Toots now at the age that she's at, I'm a little bit more of a beach guy where I can sit on the beach and take her into the water a little bit. She plays in the sand in front of me, whatever, and with the missus as well. But I can now, as a dad, really enjoy the beach because I'm just, for the most part, as the dad, chances are you're lugging a lot of that beach equipment. So sitting on my ass on the beach for like a half hour or an hour and then getting up and running around, I really appreciate. I really appreciate just sitting on my ass on the beach, listening to the waves, watching my daughter play in the sand. My son took like a 2-hour nap in his own little tent, whatever. But what made all this possible in terms of relaxation and not getting more burn than I did, have you seen in your Instagram ads, people, the Cool Cabana? Oh my God, game changer. Love it. It's like you have your own little fort on the beach. Oh, but Marc, I have an umbrella. Cool Cabanas are where it's at. It's like marking your own little territory on the bench. The beach. It's fantastic. The bench is where I played most of my career, kind of. But the Cool Cabana, it was great. Those things, you see them and you think they're stupid. I think they're great. I love them. And I get to the beach and there's like 20 within my eye shot. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, they're great. So I just sat on my ass under that umbrella. And if I didn't, umbrella. Why would I demote it to an umbrella? When I sat on my ass under the Cool Cabana, I was living life, baby. I was living life. See that golden bronze coming off Marc's dome. Y'all think Marc does tan lines? I definitely have tan lines. Sean, good morning. Oh, wow. Dan, I don't think I'm going to read that one. But I enjoy the line that starts with, don't directly look at Marc's dome. There you go. 1 home run in 2 months is better than 0 on 2 months, I guess. Yeah, that's bad. Mally, I'm also curious, does Marc use THC sunscreen or does Freestone give him that CBD sunscreen? No, I don't use the CBD sunscreen. Ben Brown's a stud. There you go. Thank you, PJ. First breakout year was 2009, but then, Tommy John surgery. April, congratulations. Your little lady. Yeah. Yeah. That was martial arts. But congratulations to her. April, I said Mally also congratulates you. April, thank you, Mally. I'm definitely one proud mama. 6 more months and she gets to test for her 2nd degree. Oh, baby. April's daughter in the, is it Taekwondo? Is it Taekwondo? Karate? It's one of those. Dan Schwartz. Come on, man. You know more minor league stuff than anyone I know. This is replying to Jim. You have to be a guy. We'll get PJ. PJ, we'll get you on here. We'll talk a little minor league baseball. No, we're talking a little minor league baseball. If you can nerd out over minor league baseball, so can I. Okay, hold on. All right, preseason stats, spring training, practice stats, minor league stats? No. I would go minor league stats, preseason football, spring training, practice stats. I put minor league up there. Yeah. As in most important of the things that aren't important. Maybe Marc can be the guest. PJ can interview him. Yeah, right. Sean Gillespie, Sirianni is a hands-on guy. Love it. Absolutely. T-Bro, what's up, T-Bro? Farzy, ESP prides himself on supplying training camps. I know he does. And you know what? That just shows me that he's a great beat reporter that's paying attention to everything. You want your beat reporter to do that. I don't care. And guess what? He'll tweet that out. It'll be like 1,000 retweets on it. Like, people apparently care. It's like, even if they say they don't care. Me saying I don't care means I actually care. Does it influence my opinion of Jalen Hurts? No. But they'll just look at him and be like, okay, needs to be more crisp, I guess. In practice. The bottom line is, it doesn't affect my judgment of Jalen Hurts at all. You can tell me he's 0 for 50 in a day. Okay. He was trying to make a point. He didn't like a pattern. I don't know. I just don't care. Technical difficulties. What's up, Mally? Tyvita. Good morning, Tyvita. Sean Gillespie. Kelsey is going for the Wolverine look. Speaking straight facts. His hair looked crazy. Definite helmet hair. Technical difficulties. Tyvita. Hello. Paul. What's up, Paul? The offense was sputtered in the last few days. Passing offense, particularly. Any concern on Hurts' development? Paul, no. Thank you for the comment. I am not concerned about Hurts' development. I will start to be concerned when I see him play games and he plays poorly. That's when I'll be concerned. Everything else, I'm not concerned. I doubt very much we'll see him in the preseason. These guys aren't even hitting in practice yet. Jason Kelsey, like I said earlier, he said 2 days ago he's barely even played himself. He says he's running around fine after COVID protocol and all that stuff, but he just hasn't really played. I'm not concerned about practice. I'm more concerned when they start playing these games. Not even more concerned. That's when I start getting concerned. I think these guys are veterans. I think these guys know what they need to get ready for the season. Jalen Hurts is the one guy I want to see in this offense for a second year that should be playing at a much higher level than what we saw last year. If he doesn't get to a much higher level, then I'll be concerned. Practice, it doesn't really bother me as much. Let's see here. Taekwondo, April. That's awesome. Good luck to her. April, make sure all these codes are still going on at Christmas. I can basically do all my shopping for the hubs. He's a lawnmower and CBD guy. Well, there you go, April. I'm trying to help. Promo code Farzy. Good morning, Tyvita, everybody. Oh, okay, April. Don't buy a Shibumi. Am I saying that right? Shibumi shade, they're overpriced. I'm sorry to hear that. April, I'm glad that's my white belt with 2 stripes that I remember from first grade. Do a kata. Anyway, you can see what an amazing athlete I am. Anyway, for the people on the podcast, I was just pantomiming amazing karate and taekwondo moves. Some people are scared. People not liking the other beach stuff. What? Mullet, I don't know if Manscaped does that. I don't know. But if they do, then that's a good thing, no? D, any interest in Syndergaard or Mullet? Yes, interested in both. Syndergaard, they already had a scout out too, and I was saying last week when reports started coming back that were just it wasn't even reports, it was speculation that the Phillies could be in on Noah Syndergaard. Yes, I'm in on Noah Syndergaard. I also don't think it's going to cost you a lot. I meant to actually, and I meant to do this for the show. If you bear with me for 1 second, I'll actually pull it up here. But I actually meant to look up Noah's numbers in that start that the Phillies were at. So I wanted to make sure. Oh, wow, that's right. Noah Syndergaard was in the show The Vikings on the History Channel. And I specifically went back and watched it. He was like a guy in the background. Fun fact, by the way. That's just a little fun fact for you. Let's see here. July 25th. Oh, yeah, he had himself a nice start. 5 2/3, 6 hits, 1 earned run. In that, he lowered his ERA to 3.83 on the season, which is the lowest it's been since in about a month. So that's nice to see for him. Let's hopefully the Phillies are able to land him. Malley would also be a great guy to get as well. I'm all for it. The Phillies saying that, and I'll show this once again. Yeah, third guy in the rotation, D. I'm with you 100%. And again, these are the guys that the Phillies supposedly aren't moving. And I think for Syndergaard, you wouldn't have to make I don't think you'd have to part ways with any of these guys on the list right now. So that's the way I think the Phillies are going to see it as well. Talking about Griff McGarry, talking about Logan O'Hoppe, talking about Mick Abel, and talking about Andrew Painter if you're just joining us in the live show. So there we go. And yes, April, I'm with you. Please leave Jarius Familia somewhere and don't have him on the hill. We don't need him on the hill for the Phillies. So that's what we got. All right, folks, here's what I hope to talk to you about tomorrow. It's very simple. I hope to be talking about the Philadelphia Phillies, at the very least, being on the trail to acquiring a third starter in this rotation. That's where I hope I'm at. Tomorrow morning, I hope we're talking about the Phillies being on the heels of making an acquisition, hopefully a third starter. I'll also take a center fielder. Can I get a center fielder? I'll also take another bat off the bench. But I think right now the Phillies are in the hunt for a third starter. When I see reports out there about the Phillies going after, or at least being interested, at least setting the level of having a third starter in this rotation, a guy that can start a playoff game, that means a 1, 2, or 3 starter, most likely a third starter behind Wheeler and Nola at some point, respectively. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are fantastic. Great to be back with you guys live. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow about what goes on at training camp. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow about the MLB Trade Deadline. And, of course, anything else that pops up in our fine sports world. My thanks to Jim Hyden. Did a wonderful job producing the program. This is a Buzz Sports Entertainment production. My name is Marc Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show presented by Steven Singer at the Steven Singer Studios. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow. See ya.